The following story is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to real people or places is purely coincidental. Welcome to Duskreach. Deep inside a forest where no trails were marked, there stood a stone church. No town, no cemetery, no records. Locals avoided the area entirely. They called it the place where prayers go to die. The church had been built centuries earlier by a secluded religious order. They believed God could only be heard in total silence. So they forbade singing, forbidden bells, forbidden voices. Until one night, the silence answered back. Villagers reported screams echoing from the forest. By morning, the church doors were wide open. No bodies were found, only blood and deep marks on the stone floor, as if something had been dragged away. Kerrick Horn, an urban researcher documenting abandoned religious sites in remote regions, entered the church just before sunset. The air inside was colder than the forest outside, and unnaturally quiet. Even his footsteps sounded wrong. The moment Kerrick reached the altar, the doors closed behind him. Not slammed, closed, as if guided by careful hands. At first, Kerrick thought it was wind. Then he realized the sound was forming words. Not prayers, confessions. The confessional booth was still intact. Inside, scratch marks covered the walls. Names were carved over each other. Hundreds of them. Kerrick found a final record near the altar.
If the silence speaks, do not answer.
He had already broken that rule. The walls began to breathe. The floor trembled softly. The church was listening. The altar cracked open. Something beneath it moved. It had learned every prayer ever spoken there, and twisted them. The whispers demanded a voice, a replacement, someone to stay and listen forever. At sunrise, the forest was silent again. The church doors stood closed. No sign Kerrick Horn was ever there. Inside the confessional booth, a new name appeared, carved deep into the wood: Kerrick Horn. Some places don't want prayers. They want replacements. Subscribe to Duskreach. And remember, some doors should never be opened.